This is something I heard from a relative. A bit of background, this happened in Southeast Asia and in Chinese funerals, or more specifically, those that follow Taoist funeral rites, will tend to have things like paper houses, paper cars, paper money, etc. Basically, the idea is that you'll burn them and the dead will be able to use them in the afterworld. These days, things can be so elaborate and fancy that there's even paper cutouts of Gucci handbags or paper Lamborghini, etc. Often, they'll also stick a paper talisman, pick related on them. Relative's family was attending a funeral. Have a small child with them. Did the usual praying, offer the bereaved condolences, stuck around for a bit to chat and catch up with others, then left. Weird things start happening at the house after that. Disembodied sounds of a small child laughing from somewhere, that most definitely did not come from their own child. Their own child would sleeping in the living room, but then there'll be like sounds of another child running around from somewhere else, sounds of bells rolling, etc. At first family was like, it's probably nothing, the area is pretty noisy, the neighborhood's buildings are pretty packed, as this was an old area, built before the days of proper gov regulations drawing up proper street lines, property lines, so people sometimes just extend their property too close to the next building and whatnot. Basically, sometimes depending on where you're at, you can even end up hearing your neighbor's conversation from next door since their window opens directly into yours. But then the grandmother, who is nearly blind, kept complaining about how she's trying to sleep but the kid keeps playing in her room. Then when they point out their child is somewhere else and brought him in, the grandmother blurted out, "Why's there the presence of two kids when there's only one child in the family?" Family freaked out. Everyone was like, what the hell, did they bring something back from the funeral, how and why? Then the mother noticed some kind of paper thing they've never seen before lying among their child's toy box. Did a double take when she saw some kind of yellow talisman stuck onto the thing. It was one of those paper offering made to look like those traditional Asian balls with bells and whatnot in them, called tamari, pick, in Japanese, turns out. While the adults were chatting during the funeral, the kid must have wandered off and grabbed it off another altar and brought it home. Everyone shit bricks when they realized what's going. Immediately bring that paper offering back to the funeral home. It was from an altar next to the one they were visiting. Yes, the family next door were mourning the death of their kid, went to explain what happened, apologized and returned the offering, offered some prayers and left. No more weird child laughing and running sounds at home anymore. But the family was still spooked, so they ended up calling up a monk over to do a cleansing ritual some days later anyway.